If you like this video, hit that subscribe button. I put out new Storybook Brawl videos every single day at 9:30 p.m. EST, and turns out most of you guys aren't subscribed yet, so what are you waiting for? I'm a pretty small channel, so I do also pay a lot of attention to comments and likes, so let me know what type of content you guys want to see. Enjoy the video. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLucksGiven, and today we are going to be checking out the hero Apocalypse. And one of the reasons that I really wanted to check out Apocalypse on this patch is this is the previous patch here, the November patch at this point. And one of the reasons that I wanted to still put up an Apocalypse game on this patch is because I was wrong about Apocalypse in my November patch notes review. So obviously I was wrong enough that they had to nerf Apocalypse down to 45 health, but the main reason that the main thing that I was wrong about Apocalypse with it is I didn't quite realize how strong that turn would be when Apocalypse just gets a bunch of 6-cost minions, and that usually he would still be able to win that combat at that point in the game, and especially if he's like up in XP or something like that as well. So gonna take the Forbidden Fruit here, and now I'm down to 45 health Apocalypse, so you can view it as if it's already been nerfed, but of course I did lose that first combat to Black Cat, kind of unlucky, a little bit random, of course. And then also have a Forbidden Fruit, so it's not totally fair to just say, you know, I have the extra health. Kind of just kidding there. But the important thing I think too with this game is I never actually drop below 5 health. So that aspect is not really relevant, but of course we are going to see some changes due to this being played on the old patch. We've got the old Crafty and some other things, old Princess White. I don't think I really make use of any non-nerfed things in this game, if that makes sense, if you're following that. And we will be moving to videos on the new patch on the start of the new calendar year. So this video, or I'll put it this way, this video is coming out on the 28th. On the 29th, I will post a video that's actually the current patch. That'll be the game that I hit Mythic. And then the 30th and 31st are going to be my 2 best games, I think, from the month of December. So it's awkward where, like, I try to keep every video that's published in a month from the given season, but when the patch the patch always changes halfway through a season, that always makes just putting out the Storybook Brawl content a little bit more awkward. I do think as we move into the next year, there will be a little bit less of that backlog on some of my previous content. I will be able to be just producing and creating stuff a little bit more consistently. So I think rather than have a backlog, we might just see sometimes where I put out 2 videos a day or something like that. So that should alleviate some, of those issues there. So interesting, nothing really too interesting has happened. I'm going to pick up some gold generation units this turn, but I do think this is kind of a cute board where you have 2 things that are low attack and getting supported by Mad Mim, and then 2 things that are low health and getting supported by the Baby Root, and then just the Sure Shot, the Sherwood Sure Shot betwixt them. But yeah, I just wanted to do at least one APOC video on this patch, kind of because I was wrong, and kind of keep myself accountable in that way, or keep, you know, reviewing and still looking at things from the old patch as they appear. Pretty lucky combat on this one to continually have all of my opponent's stuff attack into those supports so that Sherwood Sure Shot could get off a whole bunch of attacks there. So that was pretty sweet. And a shrink spell with a golden chicken in the shop is also always going to be good. Can pick up the prize pig for free. Can pick up this other stuff too. I could put the donkey on the Minotaur slot where the Baby Root is supporting it. probably won't wind up playing this egg, but I could pick it up because it only costs 1. I guess I should pick it up. I remember part of how this game plays out, but I don't know if I pick up the egg. I mean, you might as well here. It's just a coin. You just carry it into the next turn. So I think I do pick it up, which winds up being the impetus for some other things coming in the future. We're going to be getting an Easter egg in this game. So part of that is just the free egg that we can pick up here. Easter egg, obviously not really good with APOC, and that was one of the reasons that I thought APOC wouldn't be good in general, is just you don't get to take anything with you. You don't get any of the stats that you work on throughout the game. So I thought that that was really going to hold him back, but I definitely overestimated how much that was going to matter. Interesting, yeah, I guess we've got the Tweedledee here, but that is no longer how Tweedledee functions. I do think we're still looking pretty strong this combat, though the crown is going to mean that my opponent is summoning a bunch of tutus, so that is going to add up here. My opponent's going to have a pretty decent amount of stuff, but yeah, it looks like we're still going to be able to clear and have our prized pig survive. So that is pretty sweet. And still sitting at 42 health on top of the lobby with APOC is pretty sweet. And then we get another discounted egg. So when you have 2 free eggs that you can pick up, you really don't want Easter egg. I won't say you don't want Easter egg. There's just not much you're doing with Easter egg as Apocalypse. But it is pretty funny that we just wind up getting 2 Easter eggs for free, or 2 Humpty Dumptys for free, so might as well go for it. And then we are able to pick up another treasure here, or not another treasure, our first treasure. I'm kind of acting like we already have the Easter egg, but I'll triple these Sherwood Sure Shots. Then I can grab a spinning wheel, a shepherd's sling, or a crown of Atlas, and I think the spinning wheel is pretty good. Try to get that extra gold so that way you can afford some treasures and things like that in the future. And now here we get another treasure. I will grab this pair of Luckies. These treasures really aren't good. Fancy Pants is fine. It allows us to just have some additional stats. Bad Moon is really bad with APOC. Fancy Pants isn't great with APOC either. And then I guess there I was debating, like, would I want to sell an egg? I'm not sure if that was me just discussing the egg, or if that was me saying that maybe I would sell the egg for the Genie's Wish or something. But still doing okay here on this combat with the donkey spawning 2 things, but we are kind of lacking a little bit here. Not looking super powerful compared to a Fallen Angel that's got the 3 good and 3 evil. So they are doing pretty well for themselves. They are +2/+2 with everything on the board. So what do we want here? Yeah, that was kind of an awkward... There's a little bit of an awkward balance between Lucky and Sherwood Sure Shot. Or Lucky and Apocalypse. Wait, no. Lucky and Fancy Pants. I'm sorry. I totally got distracted. I'm sometimes thinking multiple things in my head and just totally distracted myself from what I'd actually meant to say. It's interesting to play with both Lucky and Fancy Pants, because then the first thing that you buy just winds up being like whatever you got on a discount, and that doesn't necessarily mean that your Fancy Pants buff is going to super good use, but I think we are able to put together still a pretty good board here after buying that first Good Witch. You could potentially see buying a second one. I could also see selling Mad Mim and the prized pig to buy this spell for the Nutcracker. I'm just debating if I want to sell my Humpty Dumptys instead, because Humpty Dumpty really doesn't do much of anything for us, but when you got a pair, you might as well still let it stick around, and an Easter egg isn't going to be the worst treasure, especially as we're winning like a lot of our combats here. We did lose to Fallen Angel, but somebody like this we could totally beat depending on how our donkey does here. Let's see, can donkey avoid a Lancelot? It does. So we get a free spawn off the donkey, and it's actually a pretty good one. And now we just have to deal with like their backline range units. We still have to deal with this Lancelot here, actually. Oh, and Nutcracker's going to survive. I think we definitely lose this one, but it's not that bad of a combat here for us. But we do wind up taking 10, so a decent amount of damage nonetheless. I guess this was their knighthood turn. This was the turn that they cast knighthood. So Broccoli's out of the game now, but we can still pick up a Broccoli here. Again, it's going to get our fancy pants buff. Yeah, like I said, it's a little bit awkward trying to figure out exactly how to release new content. There's our Easter egg. Yeah, gonna pick up Easter egg there pretty clearly. But exactly how to, like, when to start, when to transition into the new content, because I always have a little bit of a backlog, and I knew that there were a small handful of games on the old patch that I still wanted to share with you guys. Really, my videos coming out on New Year's Eve and then New Year's Eve are going to be really, really spectacular videos. I think they are my two best games on this patch, like I said. So I'm excited to share those with y'all, and hopefully those should be some fun ones. I am taking out the supports because I feel like the Nutcracker with 14 health should be able to survive one hit. It only needs to survive one at this point, and then that'll give me a tier 4 treasure, plus it will allow the Arthurs to start pumping them up. Obviously, the Arthur, I have like so much scaling stuff in this game, and that was really my reservation with APOC, is it kind of removes the efficacy of any scaling related anything. And for that reason, I really didn't know how strong it was going to be. My opponent is going to be able to crack our egg here, but that's totally fine. We're not really focused on the egg. We just took it because to get the treasure from it. Does seem like you kind of have to go Sky Castle on this board, but Sky Castle is just so bad with APOC that I really don't want to mess with it. So I'm just going to focus on hitting 6 as soon as possible. I feel like that is a really good way to go. So go for the Wish Upon a Star here, and actually create a really awkward situation for us that... Now, with APOC, if you're not already familiar, how it works is when you are 5.2, when you've got that much experience, that's when you want to sell everything you have and then buy an XP. So, if I win this combat, I'm on 5.2 next turn, which means that this turn, I really want to lock XP. So you see me lock the XP in the shop here. But if I lose this combat, that means that all I want to do next turn is lock XP. So it puts us in a really awkward spot because we're also playing against the first place person in the lobby. And that's why I thought this was kind of like an interesting APOC game to showcase too. Because with this Wish Upon a Star, basically I just put myself into a really awkward spot here. And that's kind of fun. So, yeah, figured we could take a look at this one. The Nutcracker also now getting +3/+3 from the Easter egg treasure. So that is also kind of cute. The Potion Master doesn't look too big, but they do have a large Spell Weaver in the back there. So it's going to be a matter of how my Sure Shot interacts with their ranged units. And we could have won that if their Sure Shot attacked my Lance, or if their Spellweaver attacked my Lance instead, then... I'm really bad with the names on this video. I haven't played Storybook Brawl in a few days as I am doing this commentary, just because of the holidays and all that. So I haven't gotten to play much. That's also why you guys are seeing some older content. But apologies that I'm getting all these names wrong and making this a little bit more confusing for y'all. So you see on this turn, this is where I'm just immediately locking this XP. Then I just buy out the shop for absolutely no reason. But next turn, I'm going to sell everything everything, then I'm going to buy the trash can. My board is going to fill with level 6s, and then at that point I will have, so I'll have 13 gold for the turn. It'll take 3 of that gold to buy the trash can, so I've got 10 gold, but then I'm going to be able to sell these 11 things, so I'll have 21 gold with which to take my turn. What I meant to say, though, is if the Spellweaver attacked the Prince Arthur, then my Sherwood Sure Shot could have attacked the Spellweaver, and then I would have won that combat. So at the end there, I was 1-4 to win the combat. You can't tie with just all of those ranged units running around, but I could have taken potentially some less damage there for sure if I was able to win that combat. But still, you know, as long as I can survive this last battle and just not take 18, then I am going to be okay. And if I can only take like 12, that means I would have gotten there too, even on the nerfed Apocalypse. So I think that is a fair way to look at things too. A bunch of animals are good for the broccoli, but Ancient Sark can always be tricky. Looks like they're mostly out of evils though right now. I do have some big units, but this is not going to be doable here, unfortunately. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah, we're able to tie. Okay, I knew I was going to tie. So we make it to level 6 with 18 health. So that's a pretty good performance on Apocalypse. So, oh yeah, we actually get 1 additional gold because of Lucky. So I'm able to buy and sell a 2-cost minion and just get a little bit of free gold there. So now we go into level 6 with 22 gold plus a field 4 of level 6 units. Knighthood would be nice, but with APOC, unless you've got the ball, you are not going for that. So I do move around my units a little bit, but we're probably wanting to find a few more things just to fill this comp out here before we get into level 6 too deep here. I could dream. It's kind of interesting. There's a bunch of level 6 units here, but they're not super synergistic with each other. So I'm going to roll a little bit more, and then I find a second good boy. So that is pretty sweet. I can sell 2 of my 6s. Normally you wind up getting a Lordy when you play APOC, but I did not get a Lordy this time. I buy 2 good boys, and I do want to get this Ashwood Elm in here. I think I just wind up, putting it in over the Doom Breath in the last second. So there's a little bit of awkward stuff with this board because I want my good boys to get supported by the Green Knights, but I do also kind of need this Ashwood to get supported by the Green Knights. So yeah, just a little bit awkward in terms of exactly what I want to go for, but you can see this is really powerful. This is just basically with a bunch of tier 6 units, and this is still quite powerful, and it's powerful enough that I get an Easter egg bonus on like half of my team here. So I do think that this winds up like being a pretty good showcase for APOC, just because of like how powerful you're actually able to make your board on that first turn is definitely what I had underestimated initially. No monsters, unfortunately, other than in the shop, and there's the Lordy, and there's a second Gumblegore, but we've gotten out of that. Normally you do wind up with at least 1 Lordy as APOC, but we were lucky enough to not this time. So yeah, really weird kind of way to position the board, because I obviously want the Green Knights in the back. I don't really want the Echo Wood in the front because I'd rather it get some health from the good boys first, but I do want the ranged unit in the back. I kind of want the ranged unit in 5. And APOC just always kind of presents these interesting building challenges for you too, in that you don't really know. You're gonna wind up playing different boards than you would with other heroes. And it is also important to note, like, I'm 2 XP up on the rest of the lobby as well, so that is going to mean that we're a little bit stronger than some of these people. Like, here's the Fallen Angel that was leading the lobby not too long ago, or I guess the Potion Master was leading the lobby, but Fallen Angel beat us, and now we look significantly stronger than them. Still only 55 health on this Echo Wood until our good boy dies, and hopefully the good boy can die soon before our Green Knights die, or I guess it can just not die again. That would also be sweet. No, it is going to die right here. It was nice on the last combat. We actually had our good boy survive, so it was able to get the Easter egg bonus. That actually would have been pretty nice to have that happen again. Merlin's test is pretty good. We've got 3 different tier 6 pairs though, and that is also a really big strength of Apocalypse, is that we can really easily find these triples for our tier 6 units. So I'm going to pick up a triple for Good Boy here, and Ivory Owl is pretty good. Spear is also pretty good, especially because we're attacking with Good Boy in this comp, but Phoenix Feather is just so powerful compared to the other tier 6 treasures. So I do think it probably has to be Phoenix Feather here. I do really consider taking the Owl, and I do think that Spear is also potentially a pickup, but we're also playing frontline Echo Woods right now, and because we're playing frontline Echo Woods, I think it's just going to make it even more clear that we should be taking this Phoenix Feather, because that way these Echo Woods will get to resummon if they get sniped before the good boy dies. So hopefully that isn't what has to happen. We're going to roll past a copycat at this point. Robin Wood is not going to be hitting the upgraded good boy, so nothing we can do with that. Don't really want to lock for a Doom Breath pair. I've rolled past a few Doom Breath even, just because we've got 2 other tier 6 pairs, so I'd rather work on those, I think, than try to care too much about the Echo Wood. But there you go, good boy dies. Now both Echo Woods are up to 100, so that over 100 even, so that should be enough to let them survive. Let's see, these Spellweavers are big, but if we lose the 50-50 here, no, that's going to go for Robin Wood, and we won't even trigger the Phoenix Feather. So we'll just hit my opponent for 10. It's actually unlucky. If they had hit the Phoenix Feather, we would have killed them. Or if they had hit the Echo Wood, actually, because then it would have resummoned. But then we get our second tier 6 treasure here. Maybe wanted to pick up the spell before we pick this up, but we've got access to Wand of Weirding, Evil Eye, and Ivory Owl, and Evil Eye looks decent because we've got double Green Knight, but I don't think that that's going to be good enough, and I think Wand of Weirding at this stage in the game can just be super powerful. If you double a Pigomorph, or if you double I don't know, some other really powerful spells that can get cast on Good Boy, then you can really make a huge impact with that. So we're going to replace the Moonsong Horn. I'm going to keep the Easter Egg because that's given our Good Boy, that's given him plus 3/3 regardless. So I do want to hang on to that and have to figure out what else we're doing here with this combat. I'm just buying and selling so that I can cast this spell. Maybe want to put the Doom Breath a little bit earlier, but it's tough to kind of find a place for this again because I do want this Good Boy supported. So the positioning here is still a little bit awkward as I just play solely with level 6 units still. But the Doom Breath is going to get a kill, so that's nice. And then here, we're going to see the Echo Wood resummon because the Good Boy hasn't died yet. And then, of course, it is just going to crash in, and then the Good Boy dies. So, yeah, a little bit awkward sometimes when you make the Good Boy have too much health. It just makes it not die, but that's a good problem to have, as now we are in top 3. And now we see a Knighthood, and it's pretty tempting here to just buy the Good Boy and then like lock this Knighthood. That could be pretty strong, but we do still have access to the Green Knight triple. We might just want to go for that one instead. So I'm going to go ahead and roll and not just waste the 6 gold from this turn
on locking and just buying random stuff in the shop. So let's see what we can find here after some rolls. We do have double on any spells that we cast, so Candy Rain does seem like it could be good. I'm doing the math right now. If I wanted to pick up this copycat, I would sell these 3 things that are on the bench. The problem is, like, I've got so many units that I probably would wind up selling one of the Green Knights, but I really want to keep that pair of a 6-drop. So I think I'm just not going to go for the copycat. It's really close, though. The main reservation is not wanting to break up the Green Knight pair, and if I don't want to break up the Green Knight pair, then I either have to frontline a Green Knight or frontline a Good Boy, in which case the copycat is worse, and I think that ultimately this is going to be fine. Basically, we've got Ashwood Elm to give our Echo Wood a ton of attack, and then the role of these Good Boys is to give that Echo Wood a ton of HP as well. So that is the idea here. It's going to get pigomorphed, but it did its job already, the Ashwood Elm. And now we've got a bunch of animals to have slowly chip away at these Good Boys. And now you can see the Echo Wood goes up to the 500s. And already that's going to be enough to beat whatever my opponent is doing. They've got a Peep and they've got some Bear Stains, but I don't even think they're going to be able to get past this Echo Wood, let alone the fact that we've got a Phoenix Feather on it. So this one should be basically a wrap against math and stuff here. And yeah, just some 30s. That's not going to be good enough. And now we're at 700 with the Echo Wood. So that's definitely going to be a win. And this will put us in second. This will bring us to the top 2. And we haven't really used the Wand of Weirding this game. I'd love to find an Evil Twin that would allow us to get a copy of Good Boy, find a new tier 6 treasure, but I'm not going to pass up a Pigomorph. That's one of the reasons that you buy Wand of Weirding at this point in the game. Wand of Weirding plus Pigomorph basically just allows you to win a combat for free. Yeah, pretty sweet. We aren't able to find a triple of the Green Knight there. That was, I think, our earliest pair from the APOC transition, but no matter, we are going to, I think, be pretty good here with a doubled Pigomorph plus a board that is already pretty strong. We've got 2 Echo Woods with the Phoenix Feather, and they're going to get pretty large because we have got these pretty good boys for the health and the Ashwood Elm to give it a decent amount of attack. I don't think APOC games are that exciting because you can't, it's hard to, with like a totally fresh board, come up with something so unique and specific. But what I definitely underestimated was just the ability in general for an APOC board to do pretty powerful things, because this is still quite a powerful game. I definitely got lucky. I did buy 2 XP over the course of the game, so was able to bully the lobby a little bit in that way. Also, Phoenix Feather is definitely the best level 6 treasure, just in terms of being able to immediately impact your board. So that was a lot of power, grabbing the Phoenix Feather. And then we didn't really wind up using the Wand of Weirding that much, but it was still impactful. And honestly, we take a look at this board, we've got a Good Boy, an Echo Wood, a Robin Wood, and a Green Knight, and so much of this was actually just from, let's find it here, where's our initial APOC? Here is the turn, but where is our APOC? Yeah, right here. So much of that, 4 of these 7 units went into our final comp. And that's going to be the way that APOC plays out a lot of the times. It's like, okay, with these units, you take out the Lordy. That's the first thing you do. Unless you got 2 Lordies, you probably just take out the Lordies and then you say, okay, with these things remaining, does this push me in any direction? Do I have Good Boy plus 2 good units, or do I have Pumpkin plus 2 bad units? Do I have a few monsters? Some things like that. And I definitely underestimated that ability to be powerful. Especially because what it does is you almost even hit 6 a turn sooner than when you hit 6, because I just hit 6 this turn, but sometimes if you level up and you hit 6, like, you're gonna find maybe 1 or 2 6 cost units. You're not gonna find, and we can look at by the end of this, what I actually have going on is a whole board full of tier 6 units that I'm able to find before the end of the combat. That's a little bit not pretty. Okay, great. It's back in focus. But yeah, I'm able to find a full board of tier 6s. And that is obviously quite powerful and means that you're more than just the 2 XP that you purchase. I purchased 2 XP this game, but I'm more than just 2 XP higher than the rest of the lobby, because I just have so much gold invested already in these tier 6 units. So yeah, Apok can definitely be really powerful. I definitely underestimated him, and I'm curious to see with this new patch if there's any new stuff that I will have underestimated as well. So that's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'm NoLucksGiven. Peace.